Hi everyone and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. I would have had this up a smidge earlier, but my phone needed to update because the app updated and it wouldn't work. But let's get right to it. So at General Hospital, Seth Baker is looking for his brother Tom. And does Franco know anything about that? I don't know. So Seth is going to call the police and tell them everything that Franco's done to Tom thus far if he doesn't get some answers, and Elizabeth gets called away. So Franco brings up what he did to Elizabeth. Could he be blamed for wanting to protect her against him? So Franco says Tom may be out there hurting someone else, and says like he hasn't used the photo studio he set up, which did that not raise any red flags with you at all? And that's what he should be concerned about. And Seth actually kind of internalizes that and leaves. So Laura is... No, wait, maybe he doesn't leave just yet. He doesn't leave yet. He's still there. Ignore what I just said. So Laura is practicing something to say to the committee because she's been... nominated to be on the hospital board, and from what I gleaned, it's all but a done deal, but like, you know, the formalities need to be taken care of. So Kevin comes over to her and they kind of talk, and like she'd be his boss, but like indirectly at most, you know, they make this like big deal, but it's not like she's going to be like the director of psychiatry. So I don't know. I feel like a big deal got made out of a few things that aren't a big deal today. So Lucy comes over and makes things awkward because that's her job right now. And she really pushes the boss employee thing. Again, not really. And she's... Oh, I just said that. Sorry. And like she walks him over and like, I don't know. She's being Lucy. Anyway, also at the hospital, Hayden is flatlining and she's super running out of time. Tracy gets the other doctor to let Finn do the defibrillator by saying that if anything happens, like, she'll take full responsibility. And he's like, aight, then I'm out. So Hayden, she fights and she has a heartbeat again, but it did take a while to get there. So Elizabeth thinks there might be complications since, you know, that she was out a long time. So after a pep talk from Finn to come back and calling her sweetheart, she wakes up, and spoiler alert, she's as pleasant as ever. They tell her she died a little bit, and she hasn't changed at all. Her and Elizabeth have a little back and forth, but it's not like in a mean or bitter way. It's more of a, you know, light back and forth, even though what they're saying is like, you know. And I don't know if that's a precursor of things to come. Then I'm really excited to see things to come. And then Tracy and Elizabeth give Finn and Hayden some time alone. So he tells her about the cure he has and the risks involved, aka you can literally die. And he can probably make more after she gets the dose. But, okay, because that's her big concern, is like, oh, then there won't be enough for you. But here's my issue. Before she started flatlining, the plan was that he would inject himself with this dosage, see if it killed him, and if it didn't, he would give it to Hayden. So he obviously could make more because he would prioritize her over him, which is what he was doing. So this whole big deal is made out of, oh, is there going to be enough for you? Are you going to be able to have any? But that's not the issue here. The issue is it could literally like just kill you like that. But apparently they've forgotten what they introduced 5 minutes ago. So that's just my little issue today. I don't know. Were you catching on that where you're like, wait, he was going to inject himself anyway? Like, anyway. So Elizabeth, back outside, she overhears Franco telling Seth that he strives to be a better person and how Tom nearly destroyed Elizabeth and all that. And Seth leaves and Elizabeth hugs Franco. You know, oh, she heard what... Sorry, I have the timer on here and I thought... One more second, sorry. So she heard what he said about her and about him, and she says that Hayden dying and coming back really made her contemplate time. So she doesn't want to waste any more time being afraid to trust him, and they're planning to have Christmas together. And I was like, okay, but literally all your fears are founded right now because he's being a horrible person. So at the studio, Tom is out of his cage, and he's doing just fine. Gotta down because I want it all. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry, Mr. Brightside. It just comes at you when you don't expect it. So he gets his collar off and he starts like trashing the place, and it's locked from the outside. Not good. So Tom searches for something to like pry the door open with, and he finds like that painting tool with like the flat edge. It's like, to separate lines and stuff like that. I've seen some people using it. Actually, it's used a lot. If you're ever in New York City, or I guess maybe they do this in a lot of major cities, the spray paint artists, they use it a lot. Anyway, this isn't an art review. It's a General Hospital video. So Tom turns off the music finally. He waited way too long, in my opinion, to turn off that music, and he yells for help, and then he's just gonna sit there and wait, apparently. Again, if you're new here, my eyebrows aren't really wonky, just the light and this filter makes the one look super light and the one look super dark. And I'll keep some eyeshadow here, fill that in, and then we don't have to deal with that anymore. Anyway, at the Metro Court, so Anna is recognizing this tune that Charlotte and Emma are humming from like a creepy prison type place. And Lulu wants to keep Charlotte, and Lulu brings Charlotte over to her and Dante, and Emma asks Anna why she's keeps asking about that song. So Emma feels bad for Charlotte because she hasn't seen her mom in a long time, and I was like, well. So Emma asks a lot of questions about why Anna doesn't like Charlotte's dad. Maybe the last name Cassadine should tip you off, Emma. Come on, you lived in Port Charles your whole life. You know this. I'm just kidding. So Anna says, but it's really kind of an insight to how sheltered the kids are from all the drama that happens in the adults' lives. So I just wanted to it came to me real fast, and I want to let you know what I was thinking. So Anna says that she just has questions about him. It's not like she doesn't like him, because, Emma's a kid, and you don't put that on a kid. And Emma says that, maybe she'll get invited for a play date, and then she could snoop around. And Anna's like, no. You have to show courtesy and respect to adults, just, to him, just like you would any other adult. And Emma is never going alone there, and alone anyway. But if Emma happens to hear something, Emma says this, it's not like Anna's prompting her, but Emma's like, well, if I happen to hear something that you don't know, can I tell you? And Anna's like, yeah, sure, go for it, kid. So Charlotte wants to go home, and she asks nicely, and then Dante suggests that maybe she can help them decorate their tree, and, she doesn't want to, and you can't blame her, and, actually she's making the smart decision because she doesn't know them, and as a kid, getting invited over to a stranger's house, you say no to that, so you actually gotta give Charlotte props. She knows what she's doing. So Valentine comes in, and Charlotte runs to him, and Lulu's not happy that he's kind of crashing their time together. And Valentine says that Nina was concerned. And Lulu's like, so? Who's Nina, And he wants to find an equitable way to share Charlotte. And I was like, she's not a toy, And, honestly, with the way Nina's acting and, getting in all this, oh, I want Charlotte to be ripped from her hands so fast, and so in a way that will devastate her, because I don't know, I got my petty, unreasonable side starting to come out when it comes to Nina, and I don't know if I can reel it back in, okay? So Dante talks her out of a straight up kidnapping, because she's like, if I didn't have you and Rocco, I would just take her and run. And Dante's like, okay, but even with us, don't do that. That's impulsive, and he gets her back on track. Again, this is why they're perfect together, So Lulu is going to fight Valentine for full custody, and I was like, yes. But so Dante tells her that she's being impulsive. There's a right and a wrong way to do this, and he thinks it's too early. They need to see how this goes. But all she sees is Nicholas, and this is the man who killed her brother. And Dante says, look, it's not about you. It's not even about him. It's about Charlotte. And from Charlotte's perspective, he's all she has. And it wouldn't win Lulu any points to take her away from him. So Valentine comes over to Anna and Emma. He introduces himself to Emma, and Emma and Charlotte go eat cookies. One. Yeah, okay, that's gonna happen. So Anna brings up the song to Valentine, does it have lyrics? And he says, yeah, but they're in Russian. And does she know Russian? And she's like, yeah, I know Russian. I'm Anna Devane. I know everything. So Valentine tells her the story about when he was in school and he was struggling to learn Russian, and the instructor came over to him and told him, don't give up, but the direct translation for that is hold your tail as a weapon, and that seems to mean something to Anna, and it means nothing to me. So, because she gets this stricken look on her face. So, end scene. So, Laura and Kevin talk about the I love you slip up he kind of had. Maybe not so much of a slip up, Freudian slip as they call it. I'm just kidding. Whatever. So, she can't pretend it didn't happen. They won't be the same because she loves him too. Aww. And, she really loves him. And then she remembers she got to go to a meeting. So, these two together, they're going to be late to everything. He was late to being Santa. She's probably going to be late to her meeting. So just lateness all around. Is this a bad omen for them? I don't know. You come up with it yourself. So Dante tells Lulu Charlotte needs to know that she's her mother first before she files for anything. And then Anna goes over to Dante. He's like, I have to talk to you, like, right now. And Dante's like, okay. So Valentine comes over to Lulu so Charlotte can say goodbye. And then Lulu kind of gets all, I don't know, I think Valentine says something to her. And she tells Valentine she's going to sue him for full custody. So, I mean, sure, go for it. And my mom brought up a good point that since she's now tipped him off to that, he's probably going to do everything in his power to poison Charlotte against her. Oh, in a way, I love it, and in a way, I'm like, but, like, I can't figure out which one. I think I love it more than I'm, like, about it, So Anna tells Dante that Valentine told her a story from her own past. Like, that's her story. How does he know that? So they must have come across each other, but she doesn't know. She doesn't recognize him. Well, how does he know this, So Tom went back into his cage, and he's been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. I can't fight it. So, and I don't know, he's pretending to be, like, broken. And Franco comes back thinking that Tom is broken. I guess I actually did write that. And Franco then, like, lets him out and then turns his back on him, and Tom, like, grabs him, and it looks like he has, like, a cloth in his hand. So it might be, I don't know if it's a paint or a paint thinner. Like, there's a lot of art supplies that have those kind of fumes. So I don't think, unless Franco straight up has chloroform in his studio, which is a distinct possibility the more I talk about it. Elizabeth tells Hayden that, okay, so Elizabeth comes back in because they're like, all right, we're all gonna, like, say our final things to Hayden just in case. So Elizabeth tells Hayden that she has to make it through and they'll fight like sisters for the rest of their lives. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to see that, like, legit. Tracy tells her she needs to be alive and at full strength because it's no fun to poke at her when she's down. And then she, like, kisses her on the forehead. I think she really reminds Tracy of herself, which is why Tracy's, like, really connecting to her. And Finn kisses her and injects her with the cure. Will she live? Will she not live? Time will tell. Hopefully surely we'll know by the end of the week, right? Hopefully. Okay, so that's official end of recap, and I have news. You might have seen me talk about this yesterday or a few days before, so if you did, it's about the calendar thing. You can tap out now. I will see you tomorrow. But if you haven't, I'm thinking, we're going to do this, like, fun pool. There's no prizes or anything. I just can't think of a better name for it. And guess when, like, the next wedding proposal is, or marriage proposal, when the next wedding, the next baby. So, like, you guess what date you think that's going to happen, and I'm going to put it on my little calendar here with your username and, like, what you think's going to happen. And it doesn't just have to be limited to, like, wedding or baby or, like, pregnancy announcement or, like, pregnancy reveal it's someone else's, or, this kid is someone else. Just, anything like that. Really, any kind of plot that they've ever done on soap operas. I can't think of, I'll think of more, someone's gonna die, someone's, stuff like that. You'll have to guess, like, who, just, what date you think is gonna happen, and I'll put it down on here. We already have a few. I haven't marked them down yet, but I have them in my other little planner. But in any event, I will see you tomorrow for more Drama Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!